Hi, and welcome to Cenario, your partner in mental wellness. Here on our channel, we share educational, insightful, and science-backed content to help you understand your mental health and take meaningful steps toward a more balanced life. If you're ready to learn, grow, and take control of your wellness journey, let's jump right in.
Have you ever just stopped in your tracks, maybe feeling totally frustrated or confused, and asked yourself, why am I so emotional? Well, in this explainer, we're going to decode exactly what those feelings are trying to tell you. You know the feeling, right? A small comment just brings you to tears, or one stressful day at work leaves you feeling completely raw. If you've ever felt like your emotions were just a little too much or they came out of nowhere, you are definitely not alone. It is a profoundly human thing to feel. And this, right here, is the most important idea we're going to talk about. This isn't about being too sensitive or having something wrong with you. Being highly emotional is actually a form of information. It's a signal that something, either inside you or in your environment, really needs your attention. So here's our game plan. We're going to peel this back layer by layer. We'll start with why this is such a universal question, then we'll dive right into our biology. After that, we'll look at our mind, our past experiences, and even our personality. Then we'll zoom out to our daily environment, and finally we'll pull it all together into a practical toolkit, so you can turn all this insight into real action. So, what does it even mean to be highly emotional? Honestly, it can look like a lot of different things. Maybe you react really strongly to criticism, or you feel things super deeply in your relationships. Or maybe it's just having those days where your moods seem to swing way more than you'd like. The crucial thing to get here is that these feelings are not random. You've got to think of them as valuable data points. They might be signaling that you're exhausted and need sleep, that someone just crossed a boundary, or maybe that you're feeling disconnected from something that's truly important to you. They're a direct reflection of your biology and your own unique life story. Okay, so let's dig into that first layer, your biology. You'd be surprised how often the answer to why am I so emotional actually starts with some really basic physical factors that are just so easy to overlook. I mean, just look at how fundamental these biological drivers are. Get this, just one night of bad sleep can make your amygdala, which is basically the brain's emotional alarm system, over 60% more reactive. That's why tiny problems can feel like the end of the world when you're tired. And it's the same with hormones. Shifts in your thyroid or cortisol levels can completely change your mood, and so can the side effects from certain medications. So, when is it time to maybe check in with a doctor about all this? Well, this right here is a really clear guide. If your emotional state changes suddenly, or if it comes along with physical symptoms, or if it's just getting in the way of your daily life, a simple medical checkup is a really smart and powerful first step to rule out any underlying causes. All right, moving beyond biology, our psychological landscape plays a huge role. And this includes everything from our mental health to our past experiences and even our built-in personality traits. Think of some mental health conditions like a magnifying glass for your feelings. Anxiety, for example, can put your brain on constant high alert, making every little perceived threat feel massive. Depression can act like a filter that dials up the sadness and makes it so much harder to feel any joy. These conditions don't just create emotions out of thin air, they just turn up the volume on what's already there. It is also so important to understand the difference between stress and trauma. You see, stress is usually a temporary response to something, but trauma can leave a lasting imprint on your nervous system. This can lead to what's called hypervigilance, a state of being constantly on guard, and that can cause really intense emotional reactions to triggers that might seem tiny to other people. And you know what? Sometimes feeling things deeply isn't a response to a problem at all. It's just how you're wired. The trait of being a highly sensitive person, or HSP, simply means you process information more deeply than most. Now, this can sometimes lead to feeling overwhelmed, for sure, but it is also linked to some incredible strengths, like deep empathy, creativity, and even learning things faster. Okay, now that we've looked at our internal wiring, let's zoom out. Let's talk about the world we live in every single day. Because your environment and your daily habits have a massive, and I mean often totally underestimated, impact on your emotional resilience. Think of your emotional energy like a phone battery. Each one of these things, the constant notifications, an unpredictable sleep schedule, a critical boss, even just a cluttered room, it all drains that battery bit by bit, and that leaves you with way less capacity to manage your feelings when real challenges pop up. But here's the good news. Small changes can have a huge impact on recharging that battery. Take this number, 20. That's it. Research shows that just 20 minutes of brisk activity, like a simple walk outside, can significantly improve your brain's ability to regulate your mood. It's such a tiny investment for a massive emotional payoff.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground, right? From biology all the way to your environment. So now let's bring it all together. Let's turn this insight into action. What can you actually do with this information starting today?
So the first step is to become a bit of a detective and figure out if you're dealing with an acute trigger or more of a chronic pattern. Is this an emotional spike that's tied to something specific, like that bad night's sleep we talked about? Or is this something that feels more persistent? This little chart can help you tell the difference, and that'll guide what you do next.
The most important thing here is to start small. Seriously, you do not have to fix everything all at once. Just pick one thing from this list. Maybe it's just committing to a consistent bedtime, or maybe it's setting 2 30-minute breaks from your phone every day. Or, hey, maybe it's finally making that appointment you've been putting off. Any one of those is a powerful step forward.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. Instead of asking, why am I so emotional with a sense of judgment, try asking it with curiosity. If you really listen, right now, what is one signal your emotions are trying to send you? The answer to that question could be the beginning of a whole new, much kinder conversation with yourself.
Thank you for watching Cenario. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For personalized mental wellness supplements, visit Cenario.com. See you in the next one.